What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Takumi here.
What the fuck was that?
And if I'm being completely honest with myself, I was really worried about showing my face in this video. Just cause, well, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of a little bitch boy, and I thought people were gonna make fun of me and tell me that I have a small wiener. But then I got this here green screen, and now I kind of feel like a god. I kind of feel untouchable. So, I grew up a disgusting, unhygienic weeb who procrastinated all his time watching anime, all while watching everything on the safe haven that was Kiss Anime, as I'm getting flooded by ads of hot MILFs in my area, and of course, Mrs. Incredible just getting zoinked out of her mind by her kids. So naturally I came across lots of anime openings, and they've changed my life forever. For one, I can't play a single playlist without it jumping from Playboy Cardi Mileage to Naruto Opening 2. And now nothing can give me a chub in my pants except for the sound of an opening playing at a very climactic moment in an anime. Today I want to break down anime openings, how I got into them, how they've impacted culture, and cool little nuances about them. So let us be a scrawny, black-haired, useless loser and get isekai'd into this. Your very first opening most likely is going to be a shonen anime. Maybe it's one of the classics like Dragon Ball Z's Chala Head Chala, or one of the many great Naruto openings, or that stylish-ass Bleach opening. Or maybe you're newer to anime, so you started off with something like one of the great-ass My Hero Academia openings, or that beautiful, gorgeous-ass Demon Slayer opening. Or maybe Jujutsu Kaisen's opening. Or like me, you woke up on a Saturday morning to a 4Kids dubbed anime with some off-brand fruity Dino Bite cereal in front of you, and your dick just hard as Ichigo's fits to the sound of Yugi saying that iconic ass line.
It's time to do.
But it doesn't really matter which one you started with, because they all have the same ability to fill me with so much positive energy and hype me the fuck up. But of course, anime openings go even further back, as far back as 1963, where you can see Astro Boy beat every possible threat, including the KKK, to the sound of a children's choir. I love anime. Then you got the 70s with openings like the Space Pirate Captain Harlock opening, and the 80s with the most masculine will make any 6-foot man cower down to a puny 5'9" opening ever. Fist of the North Star. You are shocked. For decades, these openings have been getting people pumped up to watch their favorite shows, and through experiencing these openings, it's opened new avenues to different artists, different genres, and different aspects of music. For example, let's take a look at the Initial D opening. It's a timeless opening with iconic-ass visuals and a perfect song to go with it. But what it did for me was introduce me to two things I never thought I'd describe as, that's my shit. The first of those things being Japanese rapping. I'm going to say this now because it needs to be said. Japanese rapping is one of the coolest things to ever fucking exist. We have to stop acting and pretending like, I don't understand the language. It's cool. You don't have to understand the language because
But that's why we be bobbing to the melodies.
And the second thing this opening made me realize I can't get enough of is just amazing English. Now we go full speed and funky beat. But of course, with this supposal insane crazy idea, oh my god, that you like to vibe to music with different languages, you're gonna get a normie who's gonna ask, how can you vibe to this? You don't even understand the words. And to that I say, I might not understand a single word of that opening rap verse of that first Bleach opening, but that doesn't mean I'm not sitting there in the car telling the hoes, no, you didn't catch that. You didn't catch that. I'm gonna play it again. You didn't catch that. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play it again. I might not understand a single word of that Gurren Lagann opening, but that will not stop me from tearing up like a little baby the moment I hear that chorus.
It's been a long fight. It's been a long fight, and I just had to have a warrior spirit.
I only understand a few words of that One Punch Man opening, but that will not stop me from going absolutely ballistic and just driving 5 whole miles above the speed limit. A lot of us might not understand a single word of that Code Geass opening, but I can bet the hairs on my butthole that won't stop anybody from belting their lungs out at regardless of language barriers or cultural barriers. Music is the universal language. So anyone, no matter who you are, can dig on this. But more than just pumping you up for a show or introducing you to a new genre, as you become more of an anime fan, you start knowing the names of directors or animators, your neck beard starts to grow, you start saying words that you learned from anime, or you start buying posters of girls that look like they're 8 years old. But chill. It's chill. They're actually 308 years old. So that's a bad joke. I'm gonna take that out. And then, as your parents' disappointment grows to a whole new level, finally, your Sharingan opens, and now you begin to appreciate more of the little details or unique takes on anime openings. For starters, you realize how important something like the visuals to an opening can really be. I don't know what it is with these things, but for some reason, more than half the stuff I learned in school went in one ear and out the other, yet deep in the crevices of my brain, living just rent-free, is a visual of Maka's dad just standing there, all fucking cool and shit, and then fucking blades come out of his back, and he's just standing there, all cool and shit. They can use these visuals in various different ways to make them stay in your brain. For one, they can use them as pure visual flair and style so that you remember them strictly based off how fucking cool they look. The Trigun opening is a great example for this. You might remember it for its iconic ass guitar riffs. And while yes, that does give me a little chub in my pants, whenever I hear those riffs, immediately what comes to my brain is the visuals. You have shots like the one with his coat just flowing in the wind, or the shot with the bullets just perfectly outlining him, or that one shot where he shoots a gun 3 times and it perfectly matches the beat, or my personal favorite where he's like running and dodging bullets and he drops his hot dog and then he catches it back in his mouth. I want to be this man. And then the Kaiba opening and the Tatami Galaxy opening and the Ping Pong animation opening. But if there was one opening that stood above them all, at least for style, it has to go to the GTO Driver's High opening. Now, it's kind of a cheat code to have Onizuka in your opening because he's already one of the coolest characters ever, but they put a lot of effort into building this opening around him. Everything's in this striking black and white, and there's almost a fish lens on it, and Onizuka is moving so fluently, and the visuals they use completely show Onizuka as this larger than life person. I love the shot of him in a fucking bathtub, or how it even opens up with him flushing a toilet, but it makes the sound of a revving motorcycle engine. This opening needed to be the coolest opening ever because Onizuka is the coolest dude. Or they can also use their visuals to give you foreshadowing for something that might happen later on in the show, or give you a sense of a show's themes, or put you in a certain mood with its visuals. Let me give you a couple examples of this. Steins Gate, using its multiples of its clocks and multiples of its characters to show its multiple timelines. Or all the underwater doors on the March Comes in Like a Lion opening to show how deep depression can really take somebody. Or something like Tokyo Ghoul's many shattered reflections. The Death Parade opening is especially great at this. This opening is basically one of those infomercials from back in the day that was trying to sell you a drug, but then giving you this Bible of side effects, which include death. But as it's giving you those side effects, its visuals are just white people having a great time, smiling and frolicking and shit. And it does that by showing you these characters having a great ass time, smiling and dancing as the song is telling you to put your hands up and shit. But then you watch the show and you realize it's all a lie, because the anime is really a sad and depressing, I want to cry now time. But that's the point. The show tricks the characters in it, so the opening tricks you, which is pretty cool, I guess. But really, if you wanted some of the best examples, you can look at the GOAT of making anime openings, Studio Bones. This studio has completely mastered the art of anime openings. Beautiful, meaningful visuals, they got that. Fantastic ass tunes, they got that. Both of the Full Metal adaptation openings, holy shit. You're never going to need to skip a Studio Bones opening. They don't have a single miss in the discography. Because of the effort they put into making these openings stand out. Ultimately, how unique an opening is what makes it impact our ever so diminishing memory. In fact, let me go off on a tangent and tell you a little story about an opening that was so unique I will never forget it. So after a normal day of physical and emotional abuse from the kids in my school, I'd come home and laugh at some Edda and Eddie jokes and write down tips from Ned's Declassified, and of course get sexually aroused by Shigo. I then would fall asleep on the couch and I'd wake back up at 3 a.m. thirsty as fuck in just a cold sweat, while on the TV was my favorite pseudo big-headed father just bouncing in slow motion to Lowrider. But this one night, I woke up and my penis shrunk to microscopic levels because on the TV, for the first time ever, my eyes witnessed the Paranoia Agent opening. I have yet to see an opening just be a complete statement piece like this one. It's so unsettling and surreal, and it just stays in your brain forever. It's just characters standing and laughing in various settings, but that uneasy feeling I get in my stomach from just looking at it, it's unmatched. And that simplicity allows this opening to be way more impactful and way more memorable than any other opening. Incoming white guy trying to say Japanese words. R.I.P. to the legend Satoshi Kon, and of course big respects to Susumu Hirasawa. But that's just my one story. I'm sure everyone has an opening that has impacted them. And in all these years of culture appreciating these openings, I would say that some of them have even become iconic or generation defining. I mean, literally the moment I say iconic and generation defining, I immediately think back to the Pokemon opening. So many people around my age grew up with this show, and this song is a huge part of that. Everyone knows these lyrics because they're all burned in our subconscious forever. It's nostalgia at its best because it makes my eyes water whenever I hear it. It takes me back to a time when everyone wanted this card. Everyone wanted this to happen, and I wanted to be the very best, like no one ever was. Even something newer, like Attack on Titan's first opening, sure, you got all that Sakuga porn and the cool ass shot of the characters just looking down.
Fucking love that shit.
But this opening is iconic because it represents a time and place for me. When this show first dropped, it took over the world, and a bunch of new anime fans began to come in. So especially with how popular this show has become, it's even more obvious to me that this opening is iconic. It's a pinpoint of when anime began to become more mainstream and bring in a much wider audience. You can't talk iconic without talking about the most anime opening to ever anime opening, the Neon Genesis Evangelion opening. It starts with these angelic soaring vocals and then explodes into this groovy funky ass pop song, and the visuals are even more insane, just throwing at you foreshadowing in quick succession like it's propaganda. Fun fact, if you search that one anime opening, this comes up. It's the weeb anthem. It's the most memed on. It's the most iconic anime opening ever. But do yourself a favor and check out the Glory Gospel Singers version of it. It deserves way more love. I'd say the JoJo openings are iconic simply off the fact that there's nothing else like them. You'll never hear opening songs at the level of JoJo opening songs. You'll never see opening visuals like JoJo opening visuals. And you know they're gonna be packed with spoilers, not only for that part itself, but at times, the whole series. You wouldn't believe the Matrix glitch I had when I first saw this, and then watched the opening again and realized this was here the whole time. What other openings are so iconic that they have iconic moments within themselves? Like in the first opening when the singer just reached into the depths of his soul and pulled out that amazing Or who could forget when the openings got completely meta and Dio used his time stop powers to just...
And what's this about y'all watching JoJo? Y'all gotta stop watching JoJo. Why would you watch JoJo when you can watch Badlands Chugs?
I'm sure you all have your favorites of these openings, but for me personally, it would have to be opening 2, Bloody Stream. It's got those sexy, buttery vocals and that staccato, jazzy production, and topped off with those rattling hi-hats. No, but seriously, this is a criminally smooth-ass song. I have never heard anybody just rollerblade glide on my butt cheeks the way Coda does on this song. I have a perfect picture for this. But besides just being unique, JoJo openings are iconic because trying to make an opening to encompass the madness and fun and style of JoJo seems impossible, but David Productions and Kamikaze Doga they did it. These openings are a testament to the level of effort you can put in to making an OP. And because of that, they always take me back to moments like heating up a friend's hand with the power of rock hard abs, or pulling a Tommy gun out of thin air, or synchronized handshakes with friends I'll never forget. And for the final iconic opening, I want to talk about Cowboy Bebop Tank. An opening that if anybody ever skips, your only reaction should be,
What?
Now, the main reason I find Bebop's opening to be iconic is because personally, I see it as the theme of Adult Swim, or Toonami. When I think of staying up later than I'm supposed to on a school night to learn about cool older brother type shit, it's to the tune of Tank. And to some of the most effortlessly cool visuals ever, like Spike smoking, or Faye dancing, or the heels walking, or Spike doing some Bruce Lee shit. The style and animation of this opening is unmatched. The song doesn't even need lyrics. It stands completely on its own. We all know how fucking insane that solo at the end is. So please, do yourself a favor, check out the live version, where you can hear even a longer version of that solo. And so you too, much like I, can have a huge crush on Yoko Kanno. I cannot begin to thank Watanabe and the Seatbelts enough for making this opening. It's something I'm gonna carry with me for the rest of my life. And because of it, I will never forget those sweet, mystifying nights on Adult Swim and Toonami with Bebop. Now hold up. As I said before, this green screen has given me a god complex, and it would not subside if I didn't get a little self-absorbed and tell you at least 3 of my personal favorite anime openings. The Air Gear opening is a super personal favorite of mine, and if you've seen it, you'll know it is extremely cheaply made. Most of the shots are just characters standing still and not doing much, or panning shots of the city. I'm pretty sure almost all the budget went into this one scene alone, but it's my favorite because it takes me back to a very simple and nostalgic time of my life. The person who showed me this opening was a good friend of mine, Michael, and he was really into Jet Set Radio, and so he showed me Jet Set Radio, and it thus began a beautiful friendship of playing Jet Set Radio and watching anime. And honestly, what better thing to do than to take 2 things you really love and just merge them together. And that's what Air Gear was, a merging of the things we loved. And now, this opening is a time capsule of watching anime and playing the Xbox all day. And maybe, just maybe, drinking some Kool-Aid if Michael's mom didn't forget. Don't worry, Michael will get that joke. He'll get that joke. Off-tune guitars, that overly loud cymbal sound, and just complete butchering of the English language. But it's still a 10 out of fucking 10 masterpiece. I fucking love this opening. But the main reason I put this opening so high is because it perfectly matches Guts as a character. Now I understand that upon hearing that, you might say things like, but this opening says nothing will be wrong and everything goes wrong. Or it says mother will show you the way, and then it shows Guts' dead mother. Hear me out. I'm about to go full-on 2 million IQ anime analysis YouTube channel mode. We all understand that Guts' life fucking sucks. But why people love Berserk and Guts is he never gives in despite his terrible life. He keeps on struggling and trying to find hope. And the song is doing the same thing. Sure, the singer is saying nothing will be wrong, but he doesn't sound happy. It sounds somber. He sounds like he's struggling to say it.
Nothing will be wrong. Tell me what you said. I don't know why, too late, it's too late.
He's just wrenching and screaming these lyrics out of him. They're not saying nothing will be wrong because they mean that. They're trying to convince themselves of that, because everything is wrong. And the line about the mother showing you the way and then it shows Guts' dead mother. I feel weird explaining this, but they wouldn't leave a mistake like that. I find it weird when people find mess ups, they immediately think, haha, the creator is so stupid. How could he make such a mistake? And not, oh, there must be a reason for this. Look, most likely, if you can notice a mistake like that, they did too. So it's there for a reason, which again is struggle. The singer is trying again to say, it's okay, mother will show me the way, but she won't. She's dead. Much like Guts trying to struggle through his shit-ass life, the singer is struggling to get his words out and convince himself it's gonna be okay. The instruments are struggling to play. That's why they sound so off-kilter. And you have lyrics like, there's no blame, there's no fame, it's up to you, which are giving off that same feeling. There's hope, it's just that it's up to you to struggle and find that hope. And the visuals perfectly match Guts too. The burning of the white flower representing Guts losing his purity and innocence because, well, you know. And the little montage showing his different personality traits. He's happy, he's angry, he's having post-nut clarity. The song matches Guts, the struggler's personality. They both are struggling, but nonetheless still trucking onward through that struggle. Now, before you go into the comments and tell me that I'm reaching, you can disagree with me. That's fine. But all that shows to me is that you clearly don't have your glasses on. And now for my absolute favorite opening. And it is... We can start by getting the obvious out of the way. This is the coolest thing to ever fucking exist ever. There's not too much to say about the song. The production is handled by the legendary Nujabes, and of course you have Shingo 2 just doing these complicated, wordy ass 200 IQ verses on top of that. The visuals are completely my aesthetic. It's these pale washed out colors, and they take two very contrasting things I love so much, hip hop and cool samurai Japanese shit, and mix it together in perfect harmony. But why it's my favorite is kind of personal. And yes, I am very self-aware. I understand that saying an anime opening means a lot to me. It's kind of lame and can easily earn back my virginity, but it's the truth. This thing holds a lot of weight for me. When I was growing up, I heard a lot of other kids talk about wanting to grow up and wanting to have a car and a job and move out. Because, you know, they saw 16 and thought that would all happen naturally, of course. Meanwhile, I was in this constant state of fear at the idea of growing up. Because I didn't want to grow up yet. I wanted to keep living this simple young life. I was worried I couldn't handle all the responsibilities that came with growing up. And whenever teachers asked me that fateful fucking question of, what are you gonna do when you get older? My asshole puckered like a lemon because I don't fucking know. I'm like 13. I'd constantly have questions in my head like, what am I gonna do with my life? What if I can't pass a driver's test? What if I can't find a job that makes me happy and I'm stuck doing something I hate? What if I fail and I end up on the street? What if I can't find my purpose in life? But you do grow, and you learn lessons that eventually raise you to be who you are. And I think the reason this opening speaks so much to me is because its lyrics, I think, speak on that struggle I had. Specifically, lyrics like, life gets colder, oh yes, I have to find my path, no less, walk on earth, water, and fire. And the ultimate reward is honor, not awards. They give me this sense of, yeah, life's gonna get tough. You're gonna wanna give up sometimes, But if you do pull through, you're gonna feel that much better about it because of that journey you took. The reward is the stronger skin you develop through walking that fire. But hey, just because I learned these lessons doesn't mean I don't get nostalgic. Obviously, being a kid is great, but you don't want to get stuck living in the past. Because living in the past can be depressing, because you'll never really get to relive those times again. But I will always have this opening to remind me of these lessons I've learned and remind me of where I am today. Standing in front of a green screen, talking to no one. R.I.P. to the legend, Jabez, and big respects to Shingo 2. And everybody, I think I'm finally done talking. I feel good. My toes are curled. I think this is it. Ending this video with my favorites is the best way to do it, because usually it's your favorites that are the best example to the beauty of anime openings. So please drop in the comments some of your favorite anime openings, and if you wish to make me feel like less of a waste of skin and that my life has meaning that I don't think it does, then please like and subscribe to this channel. But most of all, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for coming to this little pit stop on the corner of the internet. Peace.
Fuck you.